This year's Konorano is so unexpected. So this time, this video will take a look at the amazing 2024 ranking results for this light novel that has finally been released. It's a festival to look back on the year in the light novel industry, so what kind of results will it be? In this video, we'll take a look at the paperback rankings. I'm going to guess and look back on various things. By the way, last year Welcome to the Classroom of the Elite has achieved its long-awaited first place overall and also achieved 4 volumes including character rankings. It became a hot topic, but to be honest, Chitoskin, who was first place last year, Ryobi, and second place last year and won 2 consecutive championships, has entered the Konorano Hall of Fame, so they won't be included in this year's rankings. See, it's quite difficult to predict what the ranking will be this time. But let's take a look at the rankings. Let's start with 10th place. 10th place. EF Bunkaje Detective is already dead. This one was ranked 10th last year as well, so the ranking hasn't changed and it boasts stable popularity. Mamako Rano has a collaboration list and a UB list, but the UB list was definitely more expensive. As for Tanmoshi, it has also been decided that a second season of the anime will be produced. As for the series, it has reached its 10th volume this year, so its popularity is unwavering. I don't know when the anime will be aired, but I'm sure it will continue to grow in popularity. 9th place, and Dancia Bunkei's story about buying my classmate once a week. This is a new work that has been released for the first time this year. Honestly, it was the least predictable one in this year's ranking. This is the work I'm looking for because it's very much a Yuri-style novel, and it's a very quirky Yuri story who pays money to buy the heroine. That atmosphere is also quite damp. In other words, it's a work that quite a lot of people will choose because it features Yuri with a high level of romance. However, this kind of Yuri is also attractive, so I don't think it's a bad thing that it's ranked this time. Yuri Ranobi is increasing year by year. It will be lit forward from there. Furthermore, it may gain momentum as Ienra. 8th place, Galga Bunko's with you, who is not my girlfriend, more than a lover. This is also the first appearance in the rankings. As for the genre, it is a romantic comedy recommended for working adults, and for me personally, it is a highly recommended series, and it's a story about 2 people who were lovers when they were college students, but when they start working again, they settle into an exquisite relationship that can't be called friends or lovers. I'm tired of society. Oh, it's Saki's youth work, where you can enjoy an adult story, as the 2 end up in a relationship where they heal each other currently. 3 volumes have been released, so if you haven't read it yet, please check it out. 7th place, Kadokawa Sneaker Bunko, we misread reading. This is also a new work. It is an irregular school mystery series that started after winning the Kadokawa Sneaker Bunko Newcomer Award. It is a unique interpretation of a literary work that exists in reality. The structure is such that the irregular mystery part and the youth pattern, where each character passes each other, are linked well. It's a new work that you can enjoy the story of a craftsman that you wouldn't think was written by the author. It's a work that depends a lot on the reader's knowledge in reading history, so I thought it would be a little difficult for this novel, but it includes a list of collaborators. Personally, I think it's great that a work like this gets the spotlight without being overlooked. I also like irregular youth stories. This is a book that everyone should read. Next, 6th place, Nemeth Bunkai's Stella Step. This is also a new work. I thought this series would definitely rank in the rankings. If you look at it in the category of amazing light novels, I think it's one of the best works of this year. First of all, the setting is good. So yeah, it's quite interesting, with idols fighting for new energy in a stage event in a world destroyed by I found the setting of an idol science fiction story called Rue to be extremely interesting. The conflicts of girls who live as idols in a harsh world that could be called a dystopia, and the lyrical development combined with the unique story. It's interesting. Only the 2nd volume is being released, so I think you can catch up even now. If you haven't read it yet, please check it out. Senior.
4th place, Gabe Bunkos, I fell in love with you.
Invisible to the naked eye as you ran into the transparent night. This is also a new work. It's Rano, a pure love story that won the Gia Bunko's General's title. I thought this work would be in the top still. However, it's better than expected, and it's in the top 5, which is quite amazing. Also, the romance with the blind girl is also in the so-called second genre. Actually, it's a story, and it was quite a heavy work to read. There were many difficult developments after the middle, and it was a sad story that made my heart hurt. However, the ending was unexpected, and I personally like this work quite a lot. Again, it's not a work where the heroine suffers from an incurable disease, but a work in which the heroine fights against it. It's good that it's not just a story about unrealistic feelings, but if you like heart-rending youth stories, you should definitely read this work. Next, 34th place, Gago Bonkos, Living in a Bathtub. This is also a new work by Shiki Taiga, who wrote I Want to Be Your Tears, which was 3rd place in the paperback ranking last year. This work also entered the ranking this year. It's a very addictive story and it's dark. The main character is a woman who has lost her heart at a company. As the title suggests, she starts living in the bathtub of her parents' home. Not only is the setting a bit upbeat, but the main character is also a tuber. It's a pretty unexpected story with activities, but the theme of the story is family ties, and the protagonist's broken heart, making it a well worth reading work. Hey Vi, I feel like Shiki Taiga, since I is going to be a regular author behind the scenes from now on. Continue! 3rd place Kedokawa, Sneaker Bunko's Alya, sometimes hides her feelings in Russian, or in short form Rosidare, who was great last year, has broken into the top 3. It is steadily rising in the rankings. I need to say a lot more about Rosida. It's a school romantic comedy that's so popular that it has a heroine who can speak Russian and who actually speaks Russian. This is a series that is more than just a romantic comedy, with a grinning romantic comedy about a main character who understands Russian, but also a school story that is surprisingly strategic and tactical. A long-awaited anime series will begin next day to become time. Personally, I think next year's runner will finally be able to aim for number 1. Looking at the key visual, it seems like the quality of the anime is quite high, so I guess it depends on that. It might take a lot of places. How would it be, including the anime? It's a must-see to see how exciting it will be next year. 2nd place MF Bunko G, beating out Rosidari, is playing death games to put food on the table. This series is true in the light novel world. It's been talked about a lot, and it's finally in the rankings. I was also expecting it to be in the top 3, but to be honest, it surpassed Residia, which is more than I expected. This work is one of the most recent Rana. It's a rare death game, and the characters, including the main character, are trying to figure out various things with the meaning of their existence and their lives at stake. The hard development of challenging the death game is attractive. Multiple death games are burned in each volume, so it may be a good point that it is surprisingly easy to read. By the way, before this secret was announced, when the last volume, Special Serious Crime, was announced, I think there were quite a lot of people who thought that it must have been ranked quite high. But when you look at the overall points, there was only a small difference from 1st place, so no, it might have won 1st place overall, but that's what I wanted to see. This is also a work to keep an eye on in the future. The one that won 1st place this time is Gabunko's The Angel Next Door Spoils Me. As expected, Tenshi-sama took 1st place. Last year it came in 4th place, but all the works above it were excluded from consideration, so I think a lot of people expected this result. This year it was made into an anime and it became a hot topic. The sales of the original work were also skyrocketing, so this time's naive vote was a decisive point. What's more surprising this time is that it came in 1st in the overall ranking, 1st in the web ranking, 1st in the illustrator category, and 1st in the female character category, so on. This is an unprecedented result of achieving 1st place in the 5 senses in the character category. Honestly, I didn't expect it to be so completely moralistic, so I was really surprised. Well, I can't predict that they will overturn last year's achievement of Volume 4 on both days in just 1 year. By the way, in order to surpass the achievement of compatibility, you need to get 1st place in the contributor category, so no. Honestly, I think it would be quite difficult to surpass this result. It has also been decided that the 2nd season of Tenshi-sama will be produced, so I think it's safe to say that this year has been a breakthrough year. As a result, this Konorano 2024 number 1 goes to The Angel Next Door Spoils Me Right. So, the top 10 list looks like this. From here, I think I'll talk a little about my personal impressions. But as expected, there were a lot of new works this time. 7 of the 10 works appeared for the first time, so I think it's a pretty high percentage compared to past run. Now that the number of collaborators has increased compared to last year, I have the impression that the power of the collaborator list has become quite strong. Bobby Way. I'm the type of person who thinks that a collaborator list is absolutely necessary in Konorana. However, I think that it is very difficult to balance with the naive side around here every year. In that sense, however, I think it's great that the spotlight is on interesting new releases like this, so I'm not dissatisfied with the lineup itself in terms of how interesting it is. Sexes or Kun. I think it's pretty normal. I've read all the works myself, and I think they all have their own originality, and are interesting. There are quite a few works that try new things, so I think it fits well with the theme that this light source is amazing, and I hope that this will help increase sales. Well, I hope that they will make good use of this result and increase the popularity of Nemagangon. By the way, before the release of Kanorana, I made a ranking prediction, and here are my predictions. 6 of them were in the rankings. I guess it was a good fit. I would say that I was really disappointed in 1st to 3rd place. I totally expected that Death Game and Eat Meals would surpass Rosary. It was outside. Well, I have to do a lot of research myself so that I can come up with better predictions. So, this time I will look back on the results of this light novel. However, what did you all think? I'm sure you all felt a lot of things, so please let me know what you think in the comments section. Also, Konorano is pretty good, not only as a ranking but also as a guidebook. This book is full of content such as reviews of works and interviews with authors. So please don't just look at the ranking results and buy this book. The continuation of Rano depends on sales, just like regular light novels, so I would be happy if everyone would buy it so it can keep the Ranobi industry alive. That's all for this video. I'll be uploading various videos related to art in the future, so please subscribe to my channel. See you in the next video.